Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. We are doing a reading for your next significant relationship. What does it look like? How will you know when it's here? And where you are now, that is going to lead to that. So I'm excited. I'm going to just describe these. Well, I don't even have to describe them. There are 4 crystal cards. They're all kind of similar. We have rose quartz, aventurine, hematite, and angelite. So I'm just going to zoom in on these, and you are going to take a little look here, and we are going to see what speaks to you. So take a look, and thank you. We have timestamps down below, but please come back for your reading. So thank you. Goodbye. Pile 1, thank you so much for being here. And we are doing a reading for your next significant relationship. So you picked rose quartz. It seems very happy, pretty pink and rosy. Let's get right into this reading and see what's in store for your next significant relationship. I've never done this title before, but it does seem, I'm excited to see what it reveals. So I want to know first, I like knowing a little bit like why you're here, kind of where you're at right now, because I would think that you're probably, I'm going to think you're probably hopeful that you have a significant relationship with someone soon, but let's get a little bit about where you're at right now. Okay, Father of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, and the Star. So if I had to say the reason you're not in a relationship right now, if that's the case, it's probably because you're focusing a lot on work. I think you are at a point in your life where you're doing, I would say, exactly what pleases you. I think you're achieving the things you've been wanting to achieve. And I think that maybe a relationship or a partner would slow you down, or they have slowed you down in the past. But I get the feeling that you are definitely you're checking off boxes. You are achieving your goals, and you're very goal driven right now, or maybe you have been for quite some time. But I think that's why, if you aren't in a relationship right now, that's why. You might even be intimidating. There's a part of me that thinks that when you are in a relationship, you probably have to, like, I don't want to say dumb yourself down, but just maybe downplay your accomplishments, or make it more about the other person because maybe your goals are loftier than theirs. Maybe you've achieved more. I'm not sure. Or maybe you're dating people that are just like you, or even more successful, but still I get the impression that you're a lot to take on. I think you're very successful, and I don't think you're afraid to let that part of you shine. It is a part of you. I just get a lot of accomplishment from this top line. So that's what I feel right away, that you have probably put off being in a relationship because it just hasn't jived with what you want to accomplish in the time frame, and you probably have rather put your energies elsewhere. And I think we're going to see, as a result of that, I bet you are doing very well. I bet you do have like a stable home, and maybe everything else around you is working. I get the feeling you've got like friends, and you're probably a friend that's happy to buy a drink or dinner for a friend at times. You're probably very much like, someone who always has a gift for a friend's birthday. I think you're just very happy to share your money. You seem like you're probably a generous person, because you are so goal driven and quite frankly, so successful and so accomplished that you're happy to, share the wealth a little bit. So I just think you're in a great place financially, professionally, and this is probably why you are here asking about your next significant relationship. I'm going to get 2 more cards about your current state. So this is, it's all good. You're strong. The Strength card tells me, just from both of these cards, I feel like you're balanced. You know what you need. You know when to do the things you need to do. You know when to taper back. You know when to put more in. If there's any part of your life that's out of balance, it's probably the fact that you maybe work too much or too hard, or you give more of yourself to work, and maybe you don't have a partner as a result of that, or maybe the one you have right now, if you are in a relationship, I just don't think it's cutting it. It's either not your equal, or someone who doesn't appreciate just where you're at and what you've done and where you're going. But I don't even think this is water off your back. I'm getting the feeling that you're in so much like control of yourself. I don't think you're prone to like bouts of sadness or depression necessarily. I mean, we all have funks, we all have moods, we all get, I'm not all of us, but I'm sure most of us get them, that when the light changes, we're all prone to a little bit of a funk around like, December or January or February. But I just feel like you are very much, you know how to moderate yourself. So I think you're great. I think you're strong. But I really do get this sense off the top line that you aren't pining away for a relationship. It's almost like you're here because you're like, well, if it happens this year, it happens. But I don't get a feeling that you have made this a priority in your life at all. So I don't know if that's, a good thing or a bad thing, but you seem to be doing great. So for you, it is a good thing, and good for you, because as a result, we've got the star here and things are absolutely clicking. And these are all great cards. I mean, they all just tell a story about you and how self-sufficient you are. That would be, if I had to highlight you in like a couple words, I would definitely throw self-sufficient into the mix. So great job. But we want to know a little bit about your next relationship. So what do you have, I'm going to say, what are you looking for in someone? So we've got the Son of Cups, which always comes up in romantic readings, which is sweet, and it's a good sign. I feel like this combo actually comes up quite a bit. So to me, if we ask what you're looking for, I do think you have a side of you that wants a little bit of like classical romance. I do think you want... I get like you want the, almost like the quintessential, like partnership or story or path. There's just this little bit of like, yes, you want your partner to see you and recognize you, but I also think you want someone that you really look up to and respect. I don't know that you're necessarily looking for your equal. You might actually be searching for someone who is a little bit like someone who you feel like you can, learn from. And when I say equal, that's a weird way of putting it. I guess what I mean by that is like, sometimes we date people and we just feel like, oh, you're on the same page, you're on the same growth trajectory, you're going through the same troubles, you've experienced the same troubles. So that's what I mean by equal. I don't mean someone like higher or lower than you. I just mean someone, but I feel like you want someone who's gone through different things, who's maybe experienced more, maybe they're older than you, they're more mature, they have a different insight. That's what I mean when I say equal. And I do mean to that point, someone who has either worked longer at, one thing, so they're higher on the chain or they're higher on their earnings, like something to imply that they are more accomplished in their field than, let's say, you are. But that doesn't mean, that's what I mean by equal. Or someone who isn't exactly your equal. So just to clear that up. But I do think you want someone who's just a little bit more accomplished than you, who's maybe been through more, who's traveled more, who's, has more stories, more experiences, maybe even someone who already has kids. I don't know that I see that you even want kids. I'm not getting that vibe necessarily, but I do think you'd be open to someone who does have kids. But this, to me, I haven't asked what you're actually, what's in store, but I'm just getting a picture of what you want. And I do think you want romance. I do think you want someone to almost like properly court you, to kind of make you feel like just very special and recognized and seen. And I get the impression that you want this to be like almost like perfect from the beginning. Whereas some people like someone that they have a story with or like a struggle. I don't think that's what you want. I think you want like that kind of almost out the gates Prince Charming feel, and just to have it kind of go from there. And I don't even know if Prince Charming's the right word. That actually isn't. More of like just something like smooth and natural. And I definitely think you want someone respectable. I don't see you messing around with anyone who's gonna like stress you out or pull you in different directions. I see you wanting just a very mature relationship is what I'm seeing. So, and I would assume that's what's in store for you. I'll take this out. I'm going to put this here as a what you want card. Actually, when I put this down, I wasn't really thinking what you want. I was thinking, I saw it under strength, and I was kind of like seeing it as just like a who you are, and where you're at. And to see the Mother of Wands under strength, the Mother of Wands it's someone just it's almost like so fun to be around. There's a creativity there, there's a passion, there's someone protective, someone who kind of like fiercely protects their family and their home, kind of like a coiled snake. There's that fire, that bite, but that deep loyalty at the same time. And I do think of you as this person, and this speaks a little bit more to your passion. Up here, I got a lot of like a heavy work vibe, and you definitely have a passion and a care for work, but I see now that there's a little bit more of like a loving energy to you, or like you want to be that protector. You want to be that, I wouldn't say homemaker, but I think in a structure of being like in a relationship, whether there's a large family or just you and someone else, you kind of are like the queen. You take that role and you run with it. And I think you want someone who is going to kind of put you on that pedestal and kind of see you as their queen. And look up to you in the same way that you would look up to them. So that's the story I'm getting here. Okay, I'm going to get one more card about who you are. I want to know just one more card to describe you. And so with the Five of Wands, I like this because there's more fire here. We definitely have some fire. We have some earth and some fire. That's your overwhelming energy here. But this is a little bit more passion in a not quite standing your ground, like a conflict, but a playful, not in a heavy fighting way, but in this almost like sparring, but in a way that has like it's all good. It's all for the greater good. So I do think you're probably very I don't know. I do think you're passionate, and I think that I mean that in a way like you clearly are in the sense that you've accomplished a lot, and you dig your heels in and you work, and this is like a big part of who you are. But there is that next level where I do think if you're in the right relationship, which is probably what you're here asking about, your real significant relationship, I do think you become very dedicated and very passionate. And it probably does you wind up giving it probably almost as much energy as your work, which is why I think in the past you had to shelf the relationship, because you knew you're kind of like an all or nothing person. I guess that's what I mean when I say passion, like you're just all in or you're all out. So you probably are looking for that like all in kind of mode. You're ready to be there because maybe you can step back from work. It's running itself a little bit more than, let's say, it was, last year or a couple years ago or however long. But this is a fun card of conflict. I see you like interacting with someone. I see you wanting that kind of like that sparring, like someone that's on your, just on your wavelength, someone that you can like, you're really connected to physically, of course, but like mentally, and someone that's going to give it out and take it. They're going to, you're going to ask them a question and you're going to get an honest answer, and it might get a rise out of you, but you love it. You love that someone can really like give it to you. They're not intimidated by you. They're not walking on eggshells. They're not afraid you're going to leave them. Like, I just see this great balance between you and this, significant other. And that's really what you want, but we're going to get into a little bit about what's in store for you. So I'm actually going to put down an oracle card and flank it. So what's in store for you in your next significant relationship? Strengthen your gifts. And I'm just going to say with this card, because it doesn't sound like right off the bat, like, what does that even mean? But for me, what I get is that you do have a lot to offer to the table beyond being like so accomplished or so good at your work, or, so strong in a kind of like corporate setting or whatever. I think there's a lot of other things you have. And I think that those gifts are, you might be pretty like intuitive. You might have a little bit of like a sixth sense. You might have kind of like that strength of the third eye. You might be like a very like warm, loving, passionate person that you don't actually get to bring out a lot when you're on full work mode, which is where you've been. So I think you have and with gifts, it's almost like other sides of you, other angles that maybe you don't get to show very much. But I do think that as you open yourself up to a relationship more, and this next significant one, you're going to be able to show other sides of yourself, which I do see as your gifts. So I think that's a nice card. Let's get two more about a little bit about your next significant relationship. What does that look like? Mother of Pentacles and Father of Wands. So I'm just going to read this as you're going to be the Mother of Pentacles, they're going to be the Father of Wands. Even if you're a guy watching this, which at this point I have so few viewers that I don't know that men are watching this. If they are, I'm still going to say it that way. These energies can go either way. But this is, the Mother of Pentacles to me is very, very nurturing, very hands-on. Someone who, like I said, you're kind of the queen. You're calling the shots, but you're also, it's your way. Like you're getting your hands dirty in the relationship. You're working around the house. I just feel like you're cooking and you're out in the yard and you're planning trips together. Like all these things, these tangibles, I think there's a lot of depth there. And I think that this relationship will really feed you and just make you feel like a more softer, nurturing person. And I'll get to bring that out in you. Because the Mother of Pentacles is, there's also this creativity there. There's not only abundance because it is the Pentacles and because you are always going to have a Pentacles energy to you, but there's this, it's this drive. Like there's something built up where you're like, if I want this to work, it'll work. It'll be fun. I'm going to do it. And I do see some reason I see kids in the picture, whether you already have them or whether the person you meet has a family already, or has kids. I just see that there's an aspect of you being a little more maternal, nurturing in a different way. Or I don't know, maybe they have a bunch of pets or something or live on a farm. I don't know, but I get this like real hands-on, hands dirty thing to look forward to. And if you're associating with this and you're watching this, that isn't a turn off. Like that hands dirty thing means like I feel like you guys are going to spend more time around the house doing things you love around the house. And with the Father of Wands, this is someone, I think your partner is very at home in nature. I think they love being outside. I see them like on a horse, like roping cattle or just like working with goats or something. Like I don't know why I feel there's animals. There's almost like a farm setting or there's a ton of kids running around. There's like something very like earthy and groovy. I kind of feel like about your next significant relationship, and it is going to pull things. It's going to pull parts of you that aren't, no one would ever know that you have this other life where you like moonlight as a very successful, I don't know, corporate person or business owner or CEO or whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be something that lofty, but it is that other side of you. But when you're like on the homestead or the home front with your person, there's a very different side of you. But I think it really works. And this is the part that's missing. This is the temperance that you're not getting right now, which is probably why you're at this reading. You're starting to feel like you want more. You have so much in so many ways, but there are still unchecked boxes. And I think you're really looking for that. And if you're in a relationship right now, I just don't see that it's it's hard to say it's not your person because that's not even what this reading's about. But I just feel like if you're here and I'm getting this energy from you that what's really in store for you in your next, significant relationship is something that I feel like you've never had it before. It's going to be something that's going to kind of like knock your socks off. It's going to be very, very different. And it might even be one of those people that you wouldn't have dated a few years ago. And now you're like, I kind of love that this person, I'm going to say it lives on a farm. I've said it. There's something about like this animal vibe I'm getting. And it has nothing to do with the animals on the cards. These animals are always on these cards. And I'm getting like a strong animal / like kid vibe. And if this tracks at all, please, I would love to hear it. Let's get two more cards about your next significant relationship. So we've got Six of Cups, which I love. And then the darkest card on the table, not necessarily a bad thing, is the Four of Cups, which I'm going to say this card, I can attribute it, I can call it apathetic, but it doesn't track with this. It doesn't track with who you are. I think this is you slowing down, actually. I think this is you maybe not having an interest to the extreme that you didn't like. I think you're going to go through a little bit of a rebirth or a change in a good way. Not that you need one, but I do think, like I said, when you do tend to be all or nothing. And I think you're going to find that things that drove you before, mainly up in this hardcore line of achievement up here, I do think that you're going to find you're just going to find inspiration in other places. And so I think there's going to be a sense of change for you. And with that, it might bring on like a little bit of contemplation when all this excitement wears off. You are probably going to have a moment where you're like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Where am I going? But I don't think you're not going to not want to be in the situation you're in. I think you're always going to love your situation. And this dynamic, I just think it's really going to make you rethink where you want to continue to put your energy. And I think really your energy, I just get that you're very much going to enjoy this home life that you're going to be having. And I think there's going to be a lot that needs you in this next significant relationship of yours. And you're really going to like feeling that kind of special and needed, and that you're contributing in a different way. So that's what I'm seeing. And the Six of Cups, this is, there's a lot here that speaks to everything I've said. I've always called this the simple pleasures card, but the other way of looking at this is like, it is like a card of working with children or a youth. There's this interaction with like a younger group, or an innocence, really, like that childlike wanderlust, innocence, things that make you happy that are so simple. And you get that from kids. You can totally get that from animals, from nature. And I really seen this being just something in your direction. And your gifts, like, who knows, maybe working with animals, maybe being outside, maybe it is gardening, maybe you, whatever this space that I see you in, there's something that you can really bring to it that maybe you didn't even know you had that gift, or it was like latent and you haven't really thought about it for a while. But I do see that. So this is a somewhat psychic feeling on my behalf of where I see for your next significant relationship. And yeah, this card isn't bad. It just makes me think that you're going to reevaluate what drove you before. And I think you're going to find you really like this bottom line. And you're always going to be this is always going to be in you in a way. And I think it's always something you could go back to in a way, but I don't think you're going to want to. I think you're really going to find that as you let this new person in, you find a lot of joy there. So yeah, that's your reading. I hope it made sense, because I do feel like I went off in kind of a couple tangents, but let me know your thoughts, please. If you have anything to say, I would love to hear it. Write a comment. Let me know what pile you picked. And I hope I'm stoked on this. I would love to get this. So I'm excited for you if you just read this and got this. Okay. Thank you so much. And please come back for another reading. Bye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. Just thank you. And you are letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for your next significant relationship. And we got almost like oddly intuitive on my last reading. So I kind of hope this reading goes the same way. So I'm going to try to lay it out the same way so that it does. But you are here. You picked Aventurine. And here we go, shiny green circle. Not much to it. I have seen it in person and I like it more in person, but I'm glad you're here. You picked it all the same. Okay, I do want to know where you're at right now, just so I can get a feel of what's coming your way. So let's see a little bit of where you are. Okay, we've got oh wow, some very exciting. Okay. And there's a lot of confidence and power and like just action, excitement. This is movement. This is momentum. This is not a lack of anything really up here. It's just a very dynamic top line. So whoever you do exactly what you want to do. I don't think anything stops you. I think you have not only a gift to get things done on your own, because that's just you, but I also think you have a gift to kind of woo people and get assistance wherever needed. And I mean that in a very positive way. That I mean that like you have a gift, whether you're incredibly charming, whether you're incredibly beautiful, whether you're just very smart and intriguing, or all three of those things, that's in front of me here. And with the Chariot, there's you're not just a pretty face. There's also a momentum to you. There's a drive. There's an energy. And I do think you have this, like you're kind of the whole package. I feel like you're also very smart. And I know that's a lot to pull from 3 cards, but this is a unique combination given the like, who are you? Where are you at? I mean, this is a card of like, things are happening. You actually do things. You get things done. You build things. I think you partner with people wonderfully when you need to. But I also think you can start something from scratch and like hand it off or let other people run with it. You get things done. You are not someone sitting on your couch waiting for the world to come your way. You're not just like writing in a journal about all the things you want to do. You're actually doing them. I do see a lot here too. You have natural gifts, and those natural gifts help you. I think you know that. And that is why I go back to like the, charming, attractive, smart. There are these things that you possess. And I actually feel like you probably are a triple threat. If you're here, I think you are those 3 things. And it does, but I think you're a good person. I don't think you're over like taking advantage of those things that are yours. But anyway, you get stuff done, and I could talk about how awesome this top line is, but I've said it. So I'm going to take 2 more cards about who you are, what's going on with you. But I like this. I think you are, you're someone I want to be friends with. And if I had like a brother, I'd want you to date them just based off this top line. Like you're rad. That's the perfect word to describe you. You're just freaking rad. Okay, let's see a little bit more about like maybe where you're at. Okay, Father of Swords and Daughter of Cups, like almost a complete contrast. So maybe you are in a complete contrast. Maybe you've gotten so much done, hence the Father of Swords in you. And maybe now you're going back to wanting just maybe a little more fun, a little more simplicity. Maybe just, you want more fun and less intensity, because this is intense. Like from this, I would almost think, I hate to be like influencer, that's a slightly generic term, but I feel like this reminds me of someone who's an influencer, right? Who has that it factor, okay? Like you've got that je ne sais quoi piece to you, and you exploit it, which is fine. You use it to your advantage, but it takes mental energy. It's not just whatever you're doing. It's not just you're not just getting by on the fact that you're easy to look at, right? There's a whole other thing going on behind the scenes, and that's the Father of Swords to me. That's the sharp mental astuteness. This is the part of you that's savvy, the part of you that makes good decisions, honest, truthful, good to deal with. Just a very respectable person in a lot of ways. So that's tremendous. And then this to me it's that energy of like almost like a longing to be a little more simple. There is such a whimsy to the Daughter of Cups. I think it's someone who just wants things to be sweet and simple and fun. And there's a little bit of like a romantic edge here. But if this is where you're at, I think you're almost like at a crossroads where you have accomplished a lot, but to go on in this manner is frankly, it's exhausting. Like, I don't know who could do this. You would have to offset it, which is probably why you're here, because you're looking now, what does your next relationship look like? You've got so much going on your own. You're doing so much, but now you're actually ready to have fun. And I think if you do, I think your next significant relationship is really going to tap into this Daughter of Cups vibe, which is, it's not to say it doesn't have anything to do with this, but it's just, it's more playful. It's less serious. And I almost feel like it's you linking up with someone who really shows you a good time, but in a fun way, not in like a problematic, heartbreaking way. I mean, in like in a very sweet, sincere way, but with a lot more excitement than that. So okay, I want to know. I want to know what you're looking for. What do you want in someone? And then we're going to go from there. So what are you looking for? So Son of Swords, Daughter of Pentacles, and the World. Okay, so I do think looks are important to you. I do think there's a bit of a, you're not going to date just anyone. They're going to have to, you're going to have to look good together. You're going to have fun together. There could be a part of you that is a little bit, dare I say, superficial, but that's okay because we almost all are. So it's not, I can't even say it's a bad thing. It's a very common thing. I'm superficial. I hate to admit it, but I am. There's a type that I like, that I gravitate towards, and it's, there's an ideal there that I want. But yeah, I get that from you too. And you know what? That's fine because birds of a feather, you fit the mold. So, okay. But and these are young, it's funny because these are three very young energies here. I love that the Father of Swords came up for you because this tells me like you are no nonsense. You aren't actually, you're not a surface or you person at all. So I really want to clear that up. And I think the person that you wind up in a significant relationship with, off the bat, they might like you for your more superficial qualities that everyone can see and feel initially, but they're going to have to really love the Father of Swords part of you. And you know that. You 100% know that. But you're looking for, out the gates, I think you want someone to really just light you up. Like you want to feel lit from this person. You want to feel excitement. You want to feel just that rush of emotion. You really, like when you're in that beginning stages in a relationship and it's so amazing, you want that. I don't think you want to like fall in love with your best friend. That's not what you want your next significant relationship to look like. Yeah, I think you want to like bump into this person in line somewhere, or, in some random like meet cute kind of way and have it be this just whirlwind. But yeah, and I do think that's what you want. And I think actually that's probably what you will get. I see that you have a lot of opportunities to meet people, and I think you can easily attract the attention and the eyes and the introductions if that was something that you were interested in. But yeah, you kind of want the perfect, exciting, very romantic, sexy, enticing kind of first steps to happen. And that is fine. I'm with you. Okay. But if you're here, I also think there's a deeper level that you want, something with a little bit more significance. And I'm going to ask on the bottom line, like what that looks like. I'm almost going to like ask Spirit for some clues, but I want to know, what, like almost like, what do you know is in the back of your head that you need, that maybe you haven't like opened yourself up to. So I'm going to ask that, like, what are two qualities in someone that you feel like you're going to jive with? So we've got the 8 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. So the 8 of Wands to me tells me like, I don't know why I just got a writer out of this. Like, you're going to wind up with a writer, but that is so random. I don't know why I got it. But the 8 of Wands tells me there's like, I guess, travel, news, excitement. I think it doesn't necessarily track with this card, but I think actually you want excitement, but maybe let's say like at the end of the day that you do need someone that is actually quite stable. Someone who can travel and who has the means to travel, who has exciting stories to tell, but actually isn't running all over the planet doing everything exciting under the sun. Almost like this contradiction of, yes, I can do it, I've done it, but with you, I actually want to settle down a little bit more. That is the vibe I'm getting. I think you've done a lot of traveling. I think you have the opportunity to travel a lot, and I'm sure with your partner you will in your next significant relationship, but I just don't think you are looking for someone, and you might not even realize it, but someone that is like, just wants to be on the town, wants to show their face everywhere, wants to get dressed up, wants to go to the coolest parties, wants to take the most exciting trip. I just think you almost want someone a little more mature and a little more settled. that's what I'm getting out of this card. And I pulled into some intuition to get that, because it's not the exact translation of this card, but in a roundabout way, it makes perfect sense to me. But this to me is like, you've always wanted this, and this is like a hasty, hot, exciting person, but actually I think you need someone a little bit more settled. And this person can turn into this, but that would be the ideal. And here, for another thing that you actually probably know that you want and need, I think you want someone who is actually willing to see other sides of you. We all have kind of, either a shadow side, but we all have stories, we all have a history. Maybe all this, who you are now, isn't who you were 10 years ago. Maybe your upbringing was dramatically different. Maybe you were an ugly duckling. I don't know, but I think there's again, you do have depth. You are not trivial. You are not surface. You may appear superficial in some ways, but you actually aren't. And I want to stress that, because I know I always talk about like your charm and your looks, but there's a lot more to you. And I think that you really want someone who pulls that out of you and who sees that. And I think in this card that you're looking for someone who sees more of you and who wants to see more of you, who actually like wants to learn a little bit about like your baggage or your dark side, or what you've been through, or just that other side of you that very few people get to see. I think that you want that. And I think there's something very, if that doesn't sound exciting to you, there is something very sexy about that kind of a connection. And it's not a connection that everyone finds or has. So if you find this person who kind of makes you super excited out the gates, lights you up, but is actually pretty mature and stable and wants to see other sides of you, that's a really cool thing. And it's just dead freaking sexy. So I hope that you are feeling that, because I would. So let's actually, so I'm going to pull an oracle card for what your next significant relationship looks like, and then we're going to do 2 more. So here's like a little snapshot or something. Correct your mistakes. What does that mean? Okay, so I get this as mistakes you've made of dates in the past. I don't think this is like an overall find out what you've done wrong in the world and correct it. I think this is like, what mistakes have you made in the past of partners you've picked, roads you've gone down with these people, and if it didn't serve you, why? And maybe it's because you didn't acknowledge that that you actually wanted someone, like I said, who was a little more stable, or who wanted you to open up or be vulnerable. But maybe there could be a vulnerability piece here, which I just saw with this card. I think you need someone who's going to pull that out of you, that you can be vulnerable with and really open up. And so maybe in the past you picked people who were only very good in the short term, and you knew that. But yeah, the correct your mistakes is about dating. It's about the people you pick. It's not about any mistakes you've made, because I'm not even going there on this reading. I couldn't go there on this reading. This reading is only about your next significant relationship. So yeah, I think you're going to choose a little differently, and I might even say more wisely, just given the more insight you have. But yeah, let's learn a little bit more about your next significant relationship. What's coming up? So we've got Judgment and Daughter of Wands. And to me, Judgment is always, it's you kind of scrutinizing yourself. It's you evaluating yourself, and like you being your own worst critic, you being the hardest on yourself, which is irritating and can be, overkill at times. But it's a good thing, because I think this kind of judgment, it's different. It's not the kind of judgment up here where you might be like, take a better picture, work harder, I don't know, stop biting your nails. Like, it's indifferent. That I didn't mean those to sound so surface, but you get the picture. This to me is a very different kind of judgment. It's like hey, like, allow yourself to be more vulnerable with this person. Don't hold back if you want to cry. Don't be afraid to ask these questions. Don't be afraid to show this side of yourself. And there's so many levels here, but this is kind of this Judgment card tells me you really need to almost like find this confidence that everyone probably thinks you have that maybe you actually don't. And I think that in your next significant relationship, you're going to really kind of be more judicious of what you deem important, how you handle yourself, just situations you find yourself in. I think you're going to be a lot more, judicious of your time, your energy, your situations. And I know that seems vague. It makes sense in my head, but I just think you're actually going to experience something a little different than you ever have. And the Daughter of Wands but this is going to be exciting. If it doesn't sound exciting, which I feel like for you, things are always pretty exciting, and this might not sound exciting, I'm telling you, it is exciting. It's going to make you feel incredibly motivated. You're going to be very enthusiastic about this. In wonderful ways. And it's not going to change who you are. It's not going to rewire your brain to want different things in every aspect of your life. I just think it's going to bring about this next layer in you, and it's really going to make you happy. You're really going to like it. I think your next significant relationship is going to be very, very kind of intense, and there's going to be a lot of heart and soul in it. It's going to be a journey for you. It's going to be like a therapy session, but in a beautiful, loving relationship. And that again should sound great because I meant it to sound great. Okay, what else? So we've got the Nine of Swords and we've got the Ace of Wands. So I do think this next relationship for you, I think it's going to challenge, anxieties you've had in the past. Okay. I think maybe relationships are hard on you because you have such an image, such a look, such a real draw to you that once you're in a relationship, maybe you feel like you can't maintain that, or that people are going to get sick or bored or tired of you or something. And maybe then you've always kind of self-destructed it or something. Or maybe after things aren't as exciting anymore, you check out, or you're not up for the next level, which would be, not as exciting, but still good. But I do think that anxieties you've had in the past, you might feel them in this relationship, but you're going to work through them. I really think you're going to work through things. This next significant relationship is going to push you. It's going to be very, it's going to open up a whole new world for you. And I think it could be your person, whoever you're in a next significant relationship with. It's not my place to say it's the person you're going to be with forever, but I think it is going to be truly significant. And that person, I think you're going to have a very, very strong bond. There's absolutely passion and fire, and this person's going to be obsessed with you. They're going to love you to death, but they're just going to have more depth than I think anyone you've ever actually known. And it might surprise you how really, really excited about this you become, and how once you get over these anxieties, how much fun you have. I think there's a lot of fun to be had. And this Ace of Wands, it is an exciting card. It makes me think of all the just new beginnings, just things to be inspired by, things to be enthusiastic about. Maybe you've been looking for that, new things to excite you and kind of animate you. And I think this relationship could do it. So your next significant relationship is going to be unlike anything you've ever had. But it's really gonna pull a lot out of you, and you're gonna kind of evolve in a way that probably doesn't sound exciting right now, but I guarantee when you're doing it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this person makes me feel amazing. No one's ever challenged me like this before. You're gonna learn so much from each other. And then it won't be, it won't be void of passion. It won't be one big learning experience. It'll be incredibly, just everything's gonna be in. So yeah. Get excited for that. Okay, that's your reading. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. If you subscribe, that would mean everything. But I hope this is your next relationship, because I think it seems wonderful. So let me know. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to read for you. We are doing a reading for your next significant relationship. And yeah, we're going to get right into this. Last two readings, I think, were very insightful and interesting. So this is a great topic. I'm excited. You picked Hermitite, and I kind of love you for picking this card because you know what? It was like the ugly duckling of the cards, but I don't know, there's a reason you're here, and I just love if you pick this card. So great, good for you in doing that because I think you're going to have a great reading. Okay, I want to know a little bit about where you're at right now just so I can then get into, what's going to suit you and what you're going to actually want. So let's find out where you are right now. Okay, so the Tower. Okay, so I'm glad Mother of Cups came up because this is generally pretty heavy. I don't know. There's something actually, I don't know. This to me, there's something playful about you. There's something like you're serious and also not so serious. I'm trying to see where you're at right now. The Tower makes me think you have either like dramatically switched up some aspect of your life recently, or you're like thinking about doing that. But this is definitely like a crash and burn. This is changes. This is like light fire to it, let it go. And this is like the sly little fox. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. There's something very sly and cunning but fun about this card. I feel like whenever this card comes up, it's like there's something fun about you. Like you have a dark side, but it's not like an evil dark side. Do you know what I mean? It's like maybe you have a really dry sense of humor. Maybe you're really sarcastic. Maybe you're like someone that people don't actually fuck with. Like maybe your tongue's razor sharp. Like there's just something that makes you interesting. Like there's a little bit of edge to this card, and I like that. And combined with the Tower, that's pretty intense. But the Mother of Cups is like a very just lovely person, right? Like she's very nurturing. She's very nice to be around. She wants to take everyone in, but the way the Mother of Cups is facing, she's almost embracing no one. So I feel like you probably are at a point in your life where you are actually looking for a relationship. Something tells me that you are somewhat alone right now, and maybe even lonely. However, I don't think this wears on you. I think it's part of it's kind of like water off your back. Like it might be something you joke about or like you're self-deprecating about. But I do think that you would like to find yourself in a significant relationship. However, you really are okay not being in one, or at least for the time you've spent up until this point, you've been really okay with it. Maybe you've just reached a point where you're like, yeah, I'm ready to let something in. You kind of want to take on that loving, nurturing, romantic kind of vibe, which I don't think has been with you for a while. But just based off this top line, I know you. I think you're probably very funny. Actually, I think you probably have a great sense of humor. You crack people up. You bring people in. There's like a warmth to you. You're just one of those. And this doesn't mean you're not like, beautiful and smart and amazing, but I'm getting that you're very warm and funny and people love to be around you. And you have this almost like sexy little slyness. Like there's just this, I love this kind of minxy attitude that comes off this card. You've got a little attitude, you've got a little grit. And speaking to all that, you did switch up your life. Something did happen where you just kissed something goodbye, and I don't think it's wearing on you. I think you're much better for it. So I think you're in a good place. You're just actually looking for a little bit more right now. I'm going to get 2 more cards about your situation, and then we're going to go from there. I'm going to turn this over. Daughter of Cups, which is funny, and then the 9 of Swords. So you do have a playfulness. There is, but this would reconfirm for me that you are looking for kind of like a partner. I think you want someone that you can kind of sync with and almost like link up with. I think you're really looking for like your person. Like maybe you've even said that to an extent in your own words. Like you're looking for that right now, like that kind of soulmate-y kind of feeling. And I think you're someone that probably in the past wouldn't have said that, but you're at a point right now where you like no holds barred. You're not even like ashamed to say like, yeah, I'm looking for my soulmate. Like, and it's, it might be a joke, but also you kind of are looking for your soulmate. That's what I get off of you. And so we're going to, find out if your next significant relationship is what it's going to be like. I can't say if it's going to be your soulmate or not, but we'll see what it's going to be like. And this, I'll just say this is, this is a heavy card. So this just reminds me that you've been through some stuff, and that would track with this. I do think it's in your past. And I think that you've kind of kissed it goodbye, but it's there. And it could rear its head, but I really do think you've recovered from whatever this anxiety, this darkness, this kind of ugliness is. I really don't think you have much to do with it anymore. Whereas you've taken, I just think even if you're intense, you're not like heavy, you're not dark, you're not affected. I think you're overall a very positive person. Yeah, but you have some edge to you, and I think that's fantastic. Okay, I want to know what you think you're looking for. What do you think you're looking for? What do you want? Okay, the Emperor. Oh, the Lovers. And okay, like a choice. So the Lovers card can mean a lot of things, but it's funny because one of the things it can mean is a choice. And then this basically, the Two of Swords is a card of decisions. So, and then we see the Emperor. I don't know what this means. I have to think about this for a minute. But it's like, I stand by the fact that I think you're ready for a real committed relationship. I think you really want to find your person. I've said that. Somehow you have a choice to make, and I'm not sure what this choice is. If you are dealing with maybe like coming out, or for the first time, like maybe going public with dating someone of the same sex, or bringing that out into the world for everyone to see, then this would absolutely track for me. I can absolutely get that off of this. If not, I get something around a decision regarding who you should date, when and how. There's a lot of choice around who the right person for you is. And I asked, what do you think you want? So I either think you want clarity as to either like who you should date and why, regarding maybe like the sex of this person. I don't know. I just get that vibe very heavily. But I think you want, someone who's kind of like a boss, someone who's, I want to say in charge, but not in a like in chargey, dominating kind of way. But I think you seek someone who's very, almost like rigid, like an emperor, like someone who kind of is very sure of themselves. And it's funny because this is a tree being like, burnt to death. And this is a tree like standing, tall and strong, but there's still this kind of like overexposed aspect to it. I do think you want a serious relationship, but I almost feel like you want to figure something out. And I don't know what that is. So if it tracks for you, then you know what that is. And if it doesn't, then I'm not sure what to say, but I get, in regards to what you want or what you think you want, I just feel like there's a big question mark there for you. And I honestly can't say why. But we'll move on, and maybe I'll get more clarity on that, because that definitely happens. I'm going to do two cards here about what what you actually need, what would serve you. And then the last line is going to be all about your next, like what is actually in store for you. What does it look like? But I'm just going to get two cards about what would be good for you in your next relationship. And so we've got Judgment and, okay, Two of Cups. So I'm going to say for Two of Cups, yes, you do need that like real loved up, relationship-y, over the top, like celebrating Valentine's Day. I think you need that. I think you need someone who's not afraid to like openly like love and embrace. You might be the person that always like kind of pushes back. You might be the brakes. So you really need the gas, but you really do need that like in your face. Just whatever that is, like you're ready for it. You want it, whether you realize it or not, you're ready for it. And Judgment this isn't so much of like, this to me is like either you're ready to stop giving a fuck or judging yourself so heavily. And that might speak to it. There's a question here. There's something I can't put my finger on. There's like, and it's not dark, but it's heavy. There's an intensity here. and it's something to do like maybe around your past relationships or how you've operated or what you kind of always thought you wanted, you don't actually want. Maybe you have no idea what you're looking for. Maybe you thought you had your perfect relationship and it like crashed and burned for whatever reason. And now you're like, I honestly don't know where I stand or what I want. But to me, there's a big question mark. And even the Emperor, I don't know if you thought you wanted a certain thing and now you don't. I don't know. But I do know that you are ready to be committed. And I really think you're going to find that. But I do think there's this part of you that has to address a question of some sort, whatever that is. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, that's that. But let's get into I think the most fun and like poignant line of this whole reading is where I actually ask, what's in store for you? What is your next significant relationship like? And we're going to go right into it with an oracle card first. So just a little highlighter of what this is, and then we'll get more tarot on it. Begin to explore. So this to me, again, if you were starting to consider dating people, like I said, of the same sex, this totally tracks, right? Like begin to explore that. You're actually going to start exploring that. And I get that vibe so heavily that it's not going to be everyone watching this. And right now, no one watches my readings. But if you are watching this reading and this is your situation, then yeah, if it speaks to even one person who's in this situation and would be looking for this kind of happiness, maybe outside of a area they've looked for it before, I think that this is a message that you're ready. So yeah, begin to explore, and begin to explore whatever this question is. Begin to explore that. Okay, maybe it's someone of a different religion. Maybe it's you've been groomed your whole life to date a certain kind of person, and maybe now you're fighting that. It could be something like that. I feel like there's just been this grooming to get you to one point to date a certain person, and maybe now you're really like, I know I want a relationship, but I don't want that. And so yes, it is your time to explore. That's what's going to be a part of your next significant relationship. You're going to find it through genuine exploration. But let's get 2 more tarot cards about what you have to look forward to here. So I do think your next relationship, I think it's going to be, these are beautiful cards. Financially, it's going to be good. Okay. Whoever you partner up with in this very significant way, I think they're going to be established. I think they're going to be mature. They're going to be grounded. They're probably going to have, I just think they're going to be they're going to take care of themselves, and they are going to be able to take care of you if that's needed. It's a great card it's the tip of the pen. It's the pinnacle of the pentacles. And it's kind of like the culmination of all things that have to do with like money, finances, material possessions, but also like home and heart. It's just a completion of all that. So it's a very, very nice card to get for what your next significant relationship's going to. So it's going to be like coming home. Okay. That's one aspect of what your next significant relationship is. It's literally going to feel like you're coming home. And that's going to happen after you left home and explored. And I mean that in a metaphysical, in a not literal kind of way, metaphorically speaking. And then also the 2 wands, well, more of a choice, right? This is a decision. This is a choice, but I actually think you will have made your choice. Okay. I think you will have made your choice and found yourself very happy and very settled. And again, it can be so many different things that have been this question mark over who you date, why, what drives you to make that decision, who's pushing you to make that decision, what's the motivating factor behind it. But you're going to figure out what works for you. That's going to be your choice. You're going to explore, and you're going to find something really, really solid. And I think this is what you want, and this is probably what you need. So let's get 2 more cards about your next significant relationship. Excuse me. So, Son of Swords, Daughter of Pentacles. I just see the first thing I got with this is that it's actually going to happen quickly. I think that this person is either already in your life or they are like coming into it pretty quickly. And I just get that you are going to be very, very receptive of this. This is going to be something that you are going to just be very like interested and kind of like passionate and curious about, like, you're going to treat it a little bit like a new job, in the sense that like you're going to really like, you know, you're not necessarily going to rush into it, but you're going to know it's a good fit. Like when you accept a new job, you've gone through all the paperwork, you've researched the hell out of the company, you know it's the right fit for you, you know it's a place you could see yourself for 5 years or whatever. Like, it's that kind of feeling, like it's just really going to feel right. And I don't see you rushing into it, but this is a card of like haste and rush, and this actually tells me that it's coming your way pretty quickly. I think your next significant relationship is like on its way to you, or you already know this person, but there's something that tells me like once you actually start to explore this person as an option, things are going to move very quickly. And that's what I get from this reading. There's definitely a change for you. I think your mindset's changing a little bit. I think you've dealt with some anxieties, and things kind of fell apart, and maybe it changed who you were a little bit. Maybe the last few years have kind of toughened you up in a way that is more than you wanted. Like, you're probably looking for like a softer side of yourself here, and I think you're really going to find it. It's a very, very beautiful, positive reading, and it tells me that yes, you do have a choice to make. You have to think about what you actually want, where you want to be. But I see very good things for you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and you picked Hermitite. And yeah, it got you a very lovely reading. So please let me know if you care to comment on this. I would love to hear it, or like, subscribe, something along those lines. I would love it. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Light and Bone Tarot, thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for your next significant relationship. I just have to say, this is the fourth pile, Angelite. I'll just get that out of the way right now. Very beautiful blue stone, like heavenly kind of look to it. The last four readings have been really interesting and very just cool, and I've loved them, and they've had, so I'm excited to see where this reading goes. So this has been almost one of like my favorite readings of all time. It's been very insightful. Okay, so your next significant relationship, I want to know where you are right now, just so I can get an idea of what would be coming your way. So let me see where you are. Okay, so 9 of Cups, Father of Wands, and 5 of Swords. Okay, so the 9 of Cups is a great card of like fulfillment. They call it the wish card. It has an edge, and I might be getting the edge part of this card, which I rarely get, but I did also have to flip it over. It came in upside down. This card can mean you're putting a very heavy like material aspect on things. You might be finding yourself more materialistically focused than usual, which is fine, but maybe, I don't know, maybe your head and heart are in the wrong place. And Father of Wands, again, I turned this card upside down. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like you're lost right now. I feel like you're losing yourself a little bit. And I want to say, it's an icky way to start the reading. I promise you it'll get better, so don't leave. There's just something to tell me about this top line that you are actually conflicted with yourself. I don't know. I just think that you like almost don't know who you are right now. I don't know if you've like come out of a horrible relationship and you just feel like you don't know which way is up, but there's something about this where I'm like, I don't even know who you are. You're not bad. You're not good. You're not in a great place. You're not in a horrible place. I just think things are very blah for you right now. And I just think that, I don't know if you're like going down a road you shouldn't be going down, but like, I just get the sense that your energies are being put in the wrong places right now. You're focusing on the wrong things. You care about the wrong things. I mean, I could bash you completely based off of these 3 cards, but it's not you, right? It's just you. I just think you're to lighten it up, I think you're in a funk. I think something happened that threw you in a funk, and I think you know that. If you're here right now, I honestly think you know that. And asking about what your next significant relationship is going to be like, I think your next relationship is going to help really mold who you are. I think it's really going to be like a very positive kind of like uplifting experience. I think it's going to show you things. I think it's really going to help you. And whatever's going on with you right now, whatever funk you're in, I actually think it's going to completely lift you out of that, because I think you're at a point where you're willing to be so receptive to things. I just feel like you're someone who wants, right now, you probably want to take in and absorb as much as you can. Any positive influence, any change that would be for the better. I actually think you're at a point right now where you would take it on. And that's really, really awesome. I don't think you're like bullheaded or stubborn right now. If you have been, I think maybe you absolutely have been. I think you've been a lot of things that aren't great, quite frankly, and I'm sorry to say that. But I think moving forward that you really want to take on a different energy, a lightness, like an angelic sweetness, just something to contrast kind of where you've been going. But I don't want to dwell too much on that. That's not the point of the relationship. That's not the point of the reading. This reading is about your next significant relationship. But I did ask the question, like, where are you right now? So that's what I'm getting. I want to know about your next significant relationship. We're going to get there. But since this top line was so different, let me think of the next question I'm going to ask. I want to know, what are you looking for? I want to know what you're looking for. Okay, so judgment has come up in every single reading, and that's saying a lot because these other cards haven't. Well, this one card. Okay, so anyway, I do think I honestly think you're looking for happiness. And it's weird because I almost feel like you would be happy with just like a really good friend at this point. And I don't want to say your next significant relationship is going to be like a dear friend. I don't mean that you're going to fall in love with a dear friend. I mean that like your next significant relationship might not be romantic. It might actually be that you meet like this amazing friend. And if you're here and this is tracked with you so far, I don't even think that would disappoint you to hear that. I am going to try to put a romantic spin on this, but I'm going to tell you that I am getting this vibe that your next significant relationship is probably going to be someone that really, really, whatever it is, it's going to bring you a lot of happiness, confidence. I think it's going to be a weight off your shoulders to have this person in your life. I think you're going to learn a lot from each other. I just think whatever it is, it's going to be someone that probably pulls you out of something in a very positive way. But it could be a friend. I'm just going to open that up. But I'll follow through like it's going to be romantic, which is the intention I went into, but then I just got this friendship vibe. If it is romantic, it's still going to be someone that you almost have like, who you have an intense friendship with. It might be someone you already know or who you have like a positive history with. But if not, it's just someone who's going to make you feel like just warm and fuzzy, like very, very calm, very confident, very happy, very good. This person is going to have like a goodness to them that's just going to kind of like radiate. And they're going to make you feel good about yourself. I think they're going to make you feel happier than you've really felt in a long time. And a friend can do that, even though, because I don't even know that you're here looking like, okay. I want 3 cards about what you, I want to know more about what you want. What do you want? What are you looking for? And we'll find out if your next significant relationship is going to be romantic or not. Okay. So I do think you want to put an end to something. Okay. I think there has been a darkness. There's been a mystery to you. There's something mysterious / dark about, I'm not going to say you, but about your past, about what you've gone through. And I don't want to bring all this weight into it. So I'm not going to focus on it, but I think this is a part of your past. Okay. But the Daughter of Pentacles is a very positive, sweet card. This is someone who is, they're curious, they're enthusiastic, they're smart, they're focused, they're good, they're eager. Like there's so many good things about this card. And I actually think that you really, like in your innermost, you are probably the Daughter of Pentacles. I really think this is you. And And I actually think that you want a relationship where you get to get back to this. And the Daughter of Pentacles they're confident. They're confident because they love themselves. They feel great. They're eager to learn. They are just at a point where they want to absorb as much as possible. And there is that earthly kind of connection and feeling there. It's the opposite of materialistic, right? It can be materialistic in the sense that like Pentacles are, their money and home and success. So there's that connection there. But it's like, to me, I get this, this earthy connection, like people who really do want to be connected somehow. Like there's a deeper meaning there. And I really do, I get that for you. So I really love that. But I do think you're saying goodbye to something. I think something's ended for you. I think you're happy to see it go. And I think you want, you just want to end this phase that you're in. I really think you're ready for a new cycle. That's what I get out of the Moon card. Like you are so ready to kiss whatever you've been dealing with goodbye, to step into this Daughter of Pentacles energy and to just I don't know, like let just new beginnings, fresh starts. And you will get that, because with the Moon card, this is cyclical. Like whatever you've been through, you can look at it as a passing cycle, a passing phase, and there is a new one. So I'm going to actually get 2 oracle cards about what's in store for you, because I think we need to get some, like, I want to know some good things that are in store for you with your next, just in general. I'm not going to ask about your relationship, but I want to get 2 things that are in store for you. So wake up call. And look forward. So, and this would, track with like why you're here. I think this is, like I said, you're at a point where you're ready to listen, you're ready to learn, you're ready to take on new things, new challenges, new excitements, new everything. Whatever you were or are up here, you're leaving it behind. You're getting past it. I don't think you're a truly superficial person, but I just get that feeling that you're caught in a cycle of really caring what other people think, trying to put out a certain image that really isn't you. Like there's an inauthenticity that you're ready to shed it, and you are. So yes, we do have this kind of wake up call coming your way, almost like you're being shooken. Like, yes, like, yeah. And it's under judgment. It's kind of this, like your aha moment where things really are going to start changing for you. Yeah. And look forward. Just this to me it's a positive affirmation that just stay on this track, keep with this momentum, look up, things are happening, like really. And this is like, boom, look, like, be alert, things are happening. And I mean this in a very exciting, like I'm excited for you kind of way. So if there was any change you wanted, it is absolutely coming your way. I can tell you that much. There is definite change coming your way. And I don't know what this change is, because it's what you think about at night before you go to bed. It's what you journal about. It's what you talk to your friends about. It's what you listen to YouTube videos about. It's like, it's what this is. And yes, it is coming your way. So whether this comes in the form of like your new best friend, the boss you've always wanted, I don't know, but there's something in a relationship way, in a dynamic with you and another person that is going to be very healthy and very, like, it's really going to serve you. It's really what you needed and want. So, yeah. And I still don't know if it's going to be romantic or not. I'll be honest. I'm not getting a heavy romance vibe off this, but I don't think that would bother you if you're here reading this, because it really is positive. And that doesn't mean romance isn't coming your way. This just means your next significant relationship. You could fall into this tomorrow. It's not saying that you can't have one. That means they can be mutually exclusive. You can have both. Or they are, oh my God, I always forget. I'm so sorry. Forget what I said, but you can have both is my whole point. Okay, I'm going to get a card about, now we're getting like, what does your next significant relationship look like? Okay, so be true to yourself. You know what, kind of cheesy. I don't love this card because it's like, it's almost like an eye roll card, but I'm going to stick with it because it came up, and I just know you're going to be happy. Okay. I think that to me, this is like, it's just one more way of saying, guess what? You're going to be happy. Like things are going to be good. You are going to be true to yourself, because you want to be happy. You know, you want to be happy. You know this, you're ready for it, and it is actually going to happen. So that's what I'm getting out of this card. you are going to be true to yourself. You're going to honor what you want and what you need, and it's coming your way. So 2 more cards, or 4 more in total, but I'm going to do 2 more right now about your next significant relationship. Okay, we've got the Sun. Love it, love it. And we have the Daughter of Wands. We could end the reading right here on the Sun, right? Because this is success, vitality, youth, life. It's a gift. It's everything you want, everything you need to stay alive. It's also everything that can kill you, but in large doses. But that's not the point here. And I think this, to me, to see this card come up under the moon, I want to acknowledge that, because this moon here came up in like a secretive, dark, let this cycle end. And this is like shining light on it, right? Like the moon, you are literally like annihilating the moon. We don't like the moon in this card. In this line, the moon was negative. The Sun is literally going to drown it out. Whatever the moon represented, whatever ick, whatever kind of stagnant energy that you just wanted out, that cycle is ending, and we are now here with the Sun. And some things are gonna be revealed. You're gonna see some things, and we've got the rays up here, and this is kind of a card this is a card of friendship, and I almost get this connection here between like something very beautiful, uplifting, happy, life-giving, like truly life-giving, soul igniting is coming your way. However, I do see it in the form of not necessarily romantic. That said, it can be a friend that turns romantic, okay? That there's nothing to say. And that might even be your path. Maybe this is a friend, and I'm not saying that this is like a same-sex friend that you wind up falling in love with. That's not the vibe I'm giving. It could be, but that's not what I'm communicating. I'm saying this could be a friend of the opposite sex or of someone you would want to date, whatever it's the same sex or not is irrelevant. Someone that you would want to date that is just a friend that you actually might find yourself in a very significant relationship with. But however you slice this and dice this, it is good, okay? And I think you need this. You're not looking for this deeply like fucking balls to the wall, passionate, like fireworks. I don't think you can handle it right now. I don't know why. I just think it would be too much and it would implode. So you're going to take a different route, and you're going to fall in love with your friend. I kind of joke, but you get what I'm saying. Or you're just going to meet an amazing friend, forget falling in love with them. You could just meet, the friend you're going to have for life, and this person, you travel together, I don't know. Okay, so Daughter of Wands. Here, it's just more excitement. It literally tells me again that this relationship you're going to be very enthusiastic about it. It's going to light you up. It's going to give you life. I think it is going to give you life. Also, I think you're so stagnant right now. I think you're stuck. You're just in a funk. You're in a place. You're not yourself. You're not alive. And you are looking for that wake-up call. You're ready to get out of this. And it is absolutely happening. So 2 more cards. I didn't mean to turn that card over. That wasn't the card I meant to turn over. I didn't turn it over. I turned my deck over. 2 more cards. This is one of them about what your next significant relationship looks like. Okay, so 6 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. I will always say, and I stand by it, I love the 7 of Swords. It is a sly, kind of fun trickery. It's someone with an edge. And this card tells me you're not going to lose yourself. There's still going to be, you're going to have a little grit and edge to you still. You're still going to have, you're not going to like totally just be this new person that no one recognizes. You're still you. And if you had, I don't know, like this really sarcastic side to you, or if you had this part of you that's like a little sneaky or something, like it's you and it's fine and it's okay. You're not going to transform into a completely different person. And whoever this new significant relationship is, they're going to love this part about you. It's going to make them, you're going to crack them up. There's something funny about this card, something like comical. Like this is the person that people always want to hang out with. Like if if there's like 8 people and like you have to sit next to one of them at dinner, everyone's going to want to sit next to this person. This is, to me, that's how I read this card. It is that fun person that's like when you would team up and play a prank on someone, or you would like find a way to like, I don't know, steal the alcohol in the room or something. Like it's just someone fun that you can get into a little like lightweight trouble with. And I like that. I like this vibe. I think it speaks to you. I'm into it. And this is a card of goodness. So this card, if there's any little bit of this card that made you nervous, this counteracts it. This is goodness. This is sweetness. This is love, patience, kindness. It's, so I'm going to say your next significant relationship, whatever it is, whomever it's with, however you define it, it is very much going to be something that just like lights you up. You're out of your funk. You're happy. And if it is a friend that if your next relationship is a dear friend, a friendship, then with this friend, you guys could easily go out and, if you are looking for a relationship, then this could be the friend that you meet your real person with. You know what I mean? Like this could be the person that gets you out of your house and out of your funk. And maybe you travel with this person. Maybe you do fun things with this person, things you never did. Maybe you just hike with them. Like whatever it is, it's going to be something that you just see different parts of the world with. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of potential coming off your dynamic with this person. So I hope you like this reading. It's complicated to me, and I hope I did a good job of explaining just how good I think it is. And I hope I didn't offend you up here at all, because I could have possibly, but I didn't mean to. And I think you're wonderful, and I think good things are coming your way, and that's a lovely thing. And I'm sure it's very well deserved. So whatever you've been through, or whatever you've been holding back on, or whatever you want, definitely see good things coming. So I'm happy to wrap this up because it's a good reading, and we'll stop here. Please comment, like, subscribe, do whatever. Let me know your thoughts on this. I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again and read for you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.